Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the SoulFire podcast. I'm your host, Tammy Goerke. We're going to talk about all kinds of topics, all centrally focused on inspiring and empowering women, insights, tips, and tools for living life to its fullest. This is going to be a mix of solo chats and weekly interviews with women who are living life their way, whatever that may be, so that you can envision what's possible for you. I Am Inspiring Women is going to be a subsect of SoulFire podcast. Not sure if anybody's ever done that, but this is going to be two podcasts in one, so hope you enjoy. We'll talk about the ways to have an attitude that will get you through anything and what you can do to reconnect with your inner child and better manage those reactive emotions. We will discuss how to work through those limiting beliefs and what it takes to be a light in the world. This is a place to discover how other women are thriving in their chosen profession, whether it's an artist, a business owner, an entrepreneur, stay-at-home mom. Will discuss the real and honest truth about what being a woman means to us. These women talk about challenges and successes, how they deal with the ups and downs of life. These are real women who are sharing their stories so that you'll be encouraged to live your best life. Inspiration, motivation, and transformation. Let's encourage each other. Let's lift each other up. Let's learn and expand our possibilities in this world. Let's share with each other what being a woman means to us. Life is an adventure, and being a woman right now is the biggest adventure of all. How are you feeling? Are you all right? Are you in a space that's calm and clear? Or are you scattered and unfocused? Centering yourself and finding your place in a happy space is not always easy. Some days we have the world around us going crazy, too much on our minds, life and kids and jobs and businesses, and we've just got a lot of things going on, and we're scattered. We're not calm. We are all over the place. And taking a break is essential. It's absolutely essential for your well-being. We've got to find a space, create a space, a physical space that we can go to recoup, to recenter, to realign ourselves. It needs to be a quiet space with set boundaries, whether the space is in your home or outside in nature, which is ideal, but it has to be a space that makes you feel good. Even if you create a space in your mind that you can go to, make up a home that you can go to, that you can pick what the furniture looks like and what the environment's going to be like, and, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. You can create all of this ideal sanctuary in your mind. It doesn't have to always be a physical space. We're not always going to be able to get back to our physical space to be able to find a calm and centering place. If we can create a space in our mind, we have an easier time calming ourselves and centering ourselves when we're in a place that may not necessarily be that calm. Imagine a house or, place in nature, someplace that is calming to you. And if you imagine yourself at the beach and you're laying on the sand and the waves are rushing up at you, or you're sitting by, in the woods next to a creek, something that you find relaxing, in a meadow with, wildflowers everywhere, and you've got a house in the distance, a log cabin that you can go and escape to, and you build the rooms out in the log cabin, and each room has a calming essence to it. So whatever it is that you need to create for yourself that helps you to bring you back to that place that is your safe zone, so to speak. And you deserve this. This is a required space. This is something that you need to create for yourself. And I would create an imaginary place, but then also make sure that you create a physical space. So in my house, in our bedroom, I have a physical space, and it's an altar for, I have my plants on there, and I have, pictures of my grandparents, and I have, crystals and insects that I found. So for me, my power animals are, like dragonflies, and I love butterflies. I've been lucky enough to find a dragonfly, a full dragonfly, a couple full butterflies. And so those are on my altar. They are there to remind me that, everything in life is transformation, and as the butterfly, and the dragonfly is following my bliss. So I have my little Buddha up there, I have my pendulum, and so this space is, incense and candles and aromatherapy. And yes, it sounds like it's a huge space, but it's not. It's actually only maybe a foot by a foot and a half. It's the top of one of my bookshelf. And my bookshelf is a very small space. And so the space that you want to create doesn't have to be very big. It just needs to be something that calms you, something that reminds you that the craziness that's going on in the world is not important. That you bringing yourself back to center, that you can take a minute of meditation, maybe 2 minutes of meditation, or you can, get a couple drops of aromatherapy or, peppermint oil or whatever it is that calms you down, or, you know, holding on to one of your crystals and just saying a small prayer, or, for me, taking some time to talk to my grandparent. They're images of my grandparents, and I talk to them all the time. And it's not that, yes, I feel like they do answer me and they do hear me and they speak to me in different signs around me. And I don't always have to be in that space to feel that space, because I've created a calming, relaxing place that I pay attention to, that I tend to, it's something that I can use throughout my day. If I have a stressful moment, I can remember my sacred space. I can remember my altar and, think about the things that I have on there, and they all calm me down, even though I'm not physically touching those things or smelling them or whatever that case may be. And you need to create the same sort of space for yourself. So if you have something that, you know, reminds you of somebody that you care about, or something, you find I'm always picking stuff up. Roy's always teasing me because when he does laundry, he's got to check my pockets, because I will have, pebbles or coins or bottle caps, or he says I'm like a 13-year-old boy where I pick up stuff all the time, and I have pieces of string or whatever in my pocket, screws that I find on the floor, rusty bolts or whatever. I use all kinds of crazy stuff in my artist as well, but it's finding these things reminds me to stay in the moment because I'm looking for fun things. It reminds me that regardless of what's going on around me, I can be centered in taking the time to see what's right in front of me, literally right in front of me. It helps me to, if I find a rock that I like, I hold on to it and I feel it and I feel its energy, and I do little minute meditation just to, bring myself back to center and kind of ground myself. Doing these small things throughout the day makes a difference. If you're constantly running and you're constantly stressed and you're not giving yourself the time to take a minute to breathe, to allow yourself some mental space, allow yourself a moment of thinking about nothing, it's very difficult for you to sustain that for very long. You wear yourself out, you wear your body out, your soul starts to cry and get upset and make you sick because you're not taking care of yourself. You've got to remember to take care of yourself, and centering and having a space that you can think about, having a space that you can go to. All of these small things may seem inconsequential, but when you put them together throughout the day, it actually makes a difference and actually calms you down, allows you to handle the stresses of life, the stresses of a business, the stresses of a job or family or whatever it may be. It allows you to handle those stresses in a lot more effective way. You're not allowing the tension to bring you down, to wear you out, to tire you out. And it just takes just a minute. It only takes 1-2 minutes of you thinking about that special place, of you holding the rock that's in your pocket or the crystal that's in your pocket, or playing with the beads on your bracelet or the beads on your necklace. It doesn't have to be anything huge and spectacular and, sitting down cross-legged, chanting Om in a 20-minute meditation. That's great if you can do that. That's fantastic. But that's not necessarily what we all have time for. We can make the time for a 1 or 2 minute regrouping of getting back to ourselves and not allowing everything else that's going on around us to tear us down. We don't need to do that. So create yourself an altar. Find some things that are special to you. Find some things that are important to you. Go to a metaphysical shop and find some crystals that call to you. And you will find, if you take your time and you pay attention, as you're playing around with some of the stones and the crystals, you'll find things that attract you. They will call to you. They will speak to you. You just have to be open to listening. That's how I pick every single one of my crystals. And it may take a while. I mean, I sometimes will be there for, holy crap, I think I've been there for an hour before. Just wandering around and feeling the environment and seeing what pulls to me, what draws me. Sometimes I find things, sometimes I don't. And I'm not upset either way, whether I find something or not. I know that in that time, I gave myself the space to come back to a happy place, to a calm place, to a place of not having to freak out about what's going on in the world around me. Not like I freak out about what's going on in the world around me. I just get overwhelmed sometimes. And I know that a lot of other people get overwhelmed. And if you've got something that can help to calm you down, then by all means use it. Don't put it aside and think, oh, I don't need that right now. I'm feeling great. Well, you may be feeling great, but in 2 minutes, you may be feeling like crap. So take the time, create the space for you. Make it something, and you can add to it as you find things. You can add to it as something calls to you. You can create the space over time. It doesn't have to be something that you create overnight or go collect everything in one sitting or one day and then create the space. If you have the stuff, great. If you have everything that you need, everything that you want there, perfect. If you have it scattered throughout the house and you want to have it all in one space, then that's great. But if you don't have these things, if you've never created a sacred space for yourself or an altar or anything like that, then just start with a couple things. Start with a couple pictures of people that mean something to you. Maybe family members and, your grandparents who have passed, or, a picture of a saint or an angel. These are pictures and images that I have that help inspire me, that help to bring me some peace. Like I said, you don't have to collect all of these things all at one time. So as you find something that calls to you, put it on your altar. If you find a smell, a candle that you like, put it on your altar. A piece of fruit that you give as an offering, like a lemon. Lemons are very good. First off, they last for a while. Secondly, you can put it on your altar or an orange. Put it on your altar as an offering to your spirit guides and, the higher masters and teachers, and say a little prayer. You do not have to be, perfect about it. It's the intention behind it. It's the intention behind your thoughts and your feelings and your idea of what you're trying to accomplish. In this instance, it's peace, it's calm, it's relaxation, it's centering, it's grounding. Those are what your intentions are at this time. Whatever you decide you want to say, ask your higher guides, your ancestors, your, teachers, masters, whatever it is, the angels, God, universe, infinite source. Ask for calming, ask for centering, ask for grounding. And, just the intention is all that you need. So make sure that you create a space like this. Make sure that you create an imaginary space. And what's really fun about the imaginary space is that anytime throughout the day, you can daydream and build onto this space. So you can start off with a one-room shack in the middle of a field I've got a place that's astounding in the middle of the Swiss Alps. So, I've also got a place that's in the North Carolina mountains. I've got a place that's on the beach in Fiji. I have created these spaces. Now, obviously, they're all places that I like to go, all places that I enjoy, all places that make me happy. So you pick the place that is good for you and you create a space that makes you calm. Maybe for you, what's calming is even just being on the floor with you're playing on the floor with your dog or playing on the floor with your kids. And that is what you consider calming and centering. So you can use that image when you're in the middle of a stressful situation. So for me, I have these houses or these buildings that I build on, and, I've got a Zen garden, and, I just imagine all of these different areas in and around my houses that I keep adding to. I keep, when I meet somebody that I love, it's like that really makes me feel good that I enjoy their energy. I enjoy who they are. Imagine inviting them to this place. So Roy is always there because, he's my best friend. So even though he may not necessarily always know about these, I invite him to these places because I enjoy being with him. So I'll see the two of us laying on the beach and relaxing, or, in hammocks in the place in the Swiss Alps, just kind of being in a double hammock and swinging and relaxing and, you know, looking at over the meadow and watching, the mountains, the snow on the mountains. And so it's just a matter of daydreaming and creating these spaces. That's all it is. Something very simple, something very easy that is centering, that is calming, that clears your mind and allows you to calm that crazy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thanks. Bye.